Time for the Senior Rotax BNL Karting Series kickoff final. Let's take you through the fully packed 36-strong grid. So it's an all-Kraft Motorsport front row, but it's Kai Hillertz on pole position. He'll be joined by the pride of Scotland on the front row, Lewis Gilbert. Then it's Nolan Lemare and Austin Lee representing France and Germany on row 2. Hungary's Zsombor Kovács and Denmark's Marius Rose, row 3. All Dutch, row 4. Jaden Thien and Devian Horst with Dion van Verven and Paul Fokwemin rounding out the top 10. Croatia and Great Britain on row 6. Leon Zelenko and Jamie Perrelli. Denmark and Switzerland, row 7. William Christensen and Mario Sidler. The UK and the Netherlands, row 8. Ethan Jeff Hall. And for those Red Actions fans out there, it's Bramo Savarda. Tommy van der Sloys and Sebastian Bach on row 9. Vincent van Kouwhoffen and Luke Neeson ran at the top 20. Completing the 36-strong grid will be as follows. Kaz Boshaus, Jasper Lennert, Stein Scholten, Lawrence Herbos, Sverre Ubben, Thijs Daams, Tobias Billy-Clausen, and we've got Adam Walster, Robbie Stodder, Scott Westhovens, Frederik Zevis Christensen, Alton Sestakovs, Vic Stevens, Joris Schoens, Sam Bergstein and Luca Thiel. The pre-final was a precursor to what we could expect here in the final, and earlier on today in the mixed inclemental conditions, all hell broke loose. What's going to happen over the next 15 minutes plus an additional lap? We are ready, lights are red, ready to go out. Into the tram lines, the Senior Rotax BNL kickoff finale gets underway first time, and it's side by side between the front row going into turns 1 and 2, but it's going to be Hillertz that holds the lead, but Zsombor Kovács has been turned around. Oh, dramas for the Hungarian, and he's right at the back of the pack, but there's still more squabbling going through into turns 3 and 4. 3-4 wide, and everyone managed to get through. My goodness me, that was very, very close indeed. But Zsombor Kovács was the unwilling recipient of a turnaround, and now he's got to fight his way back through the swarm in front of him. But Kai Hillertz leading the way down into turn number 10 on the opening lap. Nolan Lemare and Jaden Thien now round out the top 4 positions. 5th, it's Dion van Verven. Tommy van der Sloys has exploded like a rocket, and he's up from 17th right up into 6th position. Then we've got the likes of the 367, the 397, Ethan Jeff Hall, Jamie Perrelli, Leon Zelenko, and Paul Fokwemin round out the top 10. And Austin Lee, well, where is Austin Lee? I think he might have been involved in that incident, and he was starting on the inside of row number 2, and Kovács was on the row behind on the other side of it. And there is, I see, a stricken Tony Kart. That's a real shame for the prowess that Austin Lee was showing this weekend. But now, this is where it gets interesting. 4 fast, confident drivers at the front of the field. 2 of which went into battle at the International Trophy last year at Le Mans. And the other 2 were also part of the brigade of Senior Rotax drivers that headed to the place that legends are born. The legends are born. So now we've got a fight on our hands. But they have pulled a clear gap. 2.1 seconds between 4th and 5th position. 4th is Jaden Thien. 5th is the Netherlands' Dion van Verven. Ethan Jeff Hall gets past Tommy van der Sloys. for the place. And it looks like Ethan Jeff Hall has even got past Dion van Verven. I think he has. Top four last time around were covered by just under 0.8 of a second. Helix will lead them after lap 3. Van der Stooij steamrolls his way past Dion van Verven through into turn 12, and that's for 6th place. Leon Zelenko, however, has dropped outside of the top 10. Well, he's actually dropped all the way down to the back of the order, and he's got a slow kart. Disaster for the Croatian. Leon Zelenko. That kart is not firing correctly. It might be an engine issue. He's got no power, and he knows it. That is going to be another sudden retirement. And that's within the first 4 laps. Jaden Thien, however, has made quick work of Nolan Lemaire from France and is up into 3rd, chasing after Gilbert and Rillerts. So now the race to this weekend concluded when we got into free practice on Thursday and Friday. But now the real race begins, and Jaden Thien wants to lead the charge of the Light Brigade. He's now up past Scotland's Lewis Gilbert into 2nd position, and now these 3 have got to work together. Zelenko pulls into pit lane, and that is his chance of the BNL Karting Series kickoff crown out for the count. One of the things I have noticed about Rillerts is that now that he's switched to Kilian Kraft's team at Kraft Motorsport, joining a whole host of drivers, he's really become a lot more relaxed. He had a lot to prove last season, and he has a lead over Jaden Thien of about 0.6. Jaden Thien was slightly slower than him on that particular lap, but faster than Lewis Gilbert. Nolan Lemaire is about less than 0.2 quicker than the race leader. So some moves happening up the order. Zomborkovic now recovering up to 31st at the moment. Looks to make further inroads as he's got Sestakovs from Latvia just up ahead. And there is the 324 from Hungary. About to get past Tobias Billy Clausen, who I believe was involved earlier on in the incident. Well, Clausen was actually down in 27th because there was more carnage at the back of the field. Phillips' lead now slightly extends as Nolan Lemaire sends it up the inside of Lewis Gilbert. And the Scotsman has to move out of the way just to keep himself in contention, if not for the victory, but for a podium. Phillips has started to pick up the pace. He did a 54.381. Gilbert 54.522. Jaden Thien 54.466. And Nolan Lemaire was within 0.2 of a second. Devian Ross, in the meantime, who's currently sitting in 10th position behind Jamie Perrelly from the United Kingdom, has put the fastest lap of the race on the board, 54.109 seconds, and that was on lap 4. Villits is now starting to extend that lead. He went nearly 0.2 quicker than Jaden Thien. Lewis Gilbert now finding himself about 1.2 seconds ahead of Ethan Jeff Hall. And Ethan Jeff Hall last time around was over half a second quicker. And I think Lewis Gilbert went for the move on Nolan Lemaire and got it through turn 6. And there is a move on the 303 of Jamie Perrelly. That's by Devian Hurst of the Netherlands in the 345. Jaden Thien is trying to pull away from Lewis Gilbert. And that gap between him and Nolan Lemaire on the previous tour was 3.5 tenths. Has he extended it since then? Phillips has extended his lead to just over a second. The gap has slightly extended between second and third. but not by much because Lewis Gilbert was able to be a bit deeper on the brakes going through into turn number 2. So 2 retirees, not even a handful of corners into the race. Austin Lee from Germany out. Leon Zelenko out on lap 4 with mechanical dramas. So we still have 34 runners and riders, three of which we're concentrating on right now. Jaden Thien is not quite getting away from Lewis Gilbert, nor is he getting away from Nolan Lemberhay from France. And now Lewis Gilbert looks for the move up the inside. That's through turn 2. That's the sweet spot for the Pride of Scotland. Neatly through on Jaden Thien, and Nolan Lemberhay is also looking for an opportunity. He's going to look for the move up through turn 6. The French driver gets through, but Jaden Thien straight on the undercut, straight up the inside, and gets through on the 3:14. Back into third goes the Dutchman. But look at who's behind. Oh, I sense the Jaws music is imminent because there is Ethan Jeff Hall and Tommy van der Stroys. Anyone got the Chinese fireworks on standby? And I think someone might have a lighter to light that up as well, because second could be the biggest battleground that we're going to have, as Rillerts, with 5 minutes and 50 on the clock to go, has now got a commanding lead. 1.727 seconds over the Pride of Scotland. Lewis Gilbert, Jaden Thien, Nolan Lemberhay, Ethan Jeff Hall, Tommy van der Stroys, Dion van Verven, Paul Forquemin. And we've got Devian Roston, Jamie Perrelly running at the top 10. Vic Stevens now past countryman Taze Downs for 11th position. Fredrik Zevis Christensen now gets ahead of Bram Ossevada for 19th. Zombor Kovac now on the verges of hitting the top 25. He's just with Steen Scholten and might have gotten the move done on the 336 from the Netherlands. And now Gilbert has started pulling away from Jaden Thien. That is an ominous sign, because now the Dutchman knows. He looks over his right shoulder, sees Nolan Lemberhay there, and then finds out that he's got him up the inside. And there goes Ethan Jeff Hall as well. Reading the situation perfectly was last year's junior European champion. And now Tommy van der Stroys fancies his chances and also gets through on Jaden Thien. As we now have a green flag, we've got a yellow flag. There is a cart off at the exit of turn number 7. So driver just he's having to get behind the barriers. And that driver is quite clearly, through body language, from what I spy here, not entirely happy. And that could be, oh no, that's Jamie Perrelly. Jamie Perrelly was running strongly in the top 10, and now he's out of the race. Meanwhile, it's all kicking off behind. Jaden Thien tries to muscle his way up the inside of Tommy van der Stroys through turn 3, but the 3:54 from The Hague in the Netherlands was not letting that one go. He kept it pinned, he kept his throttle planted, and that was it, job done. 3.5 minutes to go on the timer. Rillerts is comfortably managing the lead that he's got over Lewis Gilbert. Third place, it's Ethan Jeff Hall. Now Tommy van der Stroys sends it up the inside through turn 10 on Nolan Lemberhay. Nearly gave the opportunity for Jaden Thien to also get through, but the 380 had to wait for his chance. Now he's going to take it coming out of the final corner. He's side by side with Lemberhay, who runs a little bit wide, kicks up the dust, and Thien is through for fifth place. Some great measuring by van der Stroys, Jeff Hall, Thien, because they had the number of Nolan Lemberhay. You come to a circuit like this, there's some of these drivers know like the back of their hand, and that was proof in the pudding right there. And now there's further changes afoot a little bit further back. The 375 of Luke Neeson getting past. That was Marius Rose. And now Neeson retakes the position as we're getting towards the conclusion of our 14th lap of racing. So Lemerey finds himself down in 6th and is dropping back because it hasn't got the pace to catch up. Maybe the tyres have gone off a little bit because Dion van Verven is not that far behind the French driver. And now we've had a further drama. There's another driver that is whose race has ended. Driver despondently walking away from the kart. And that is the number 322. Tobias Bille-Clausen out of the race. 32 drivers still circulating. But with a minute and a half still to go, one particular driver has kept himself out of harm's way and he's pulling a further extension on the lead that he currently has. Now extending to 2.1 seconds. That driver is the 374. Kraft Motorsport's Kai Rillertz had all the pressure on his shoulders last year as a debutant, as a senior. Now, after 12 months, there's been a dynamic shift in how he operates. I've seen a calmer, more relaxed Kai Rillertz behind the scenes, and that reflects in his driving. 45 seconds remain on the clock as 32 out of the 36 starters are still running at this moment, the last of which being Scott Westhoven's. Frederik Zebis Christensen up to 16th. Jori Schoens past Bram Ossevarda, with the latter in the 376 rounding out the top 20. Rillertz has extended his lead to just a shade under 2.3 seconds. And now we go on to lap 17 out of 18. The timer will expire as Kai Rillertz will be making his way down towards turn 7. And a 5-second penalty going towards Mario Sidler in 14th. Timer has expired. Rillertz now makes his way through turn number 8. Stein Scholten unfortunately dropping out of the top 30. Now 31st behind Sestakov's Robbie Stodder and Sebastian Bach from Denmark. But the timer has expired. The penultimate last lap board of the weekend, and it's seen by Tremolo's very own Kai Rillertz, who has 1,360 metres to go. It was all about being in the right place at the right time, and that was proof personified with this driver here making his way through turn 4, now into turn 5. Lewis Gilbert will make it a welcome result for Kilian Kraft and the team with the 1-2. Ethan Jeff Hall, Tommy van der Soys, Jaden Thien, Nolan Lemerey, Dion van Verven, now past Evian Rost, Vic Stevens and Paul Fouquemin round out the top 10. But it's about being in the moment, as I said, at the right place at the right time. 3 more corners to go. Not only this year, he came out swinging at the Winter Cup, winning in Campios, as we've had an incident, but at the moment, it's going to be a victory. It's going to be a full season. We're going to see the champion back. It's Kai Rillertz. He wins the kickoff here on home soil at the home of champions. Lewis Gilbert making it a Kraft Motorsport 1-2. So congratulations to Kilian Kraft and the team this weekend. Ethan Jeff Hall in 3rd. Tommy van der Stoys, Jaden Thien rounding out the top 5. Van der Stoys from 17th to 4th. A great drive, measured and a bit more controlled than I have seen him in previous years. And there is your race winner, now nodding. He's now gone, yep, done it again, boys. That's great to see. A very calm, cool down lap for the 374. So 11th to 20th, it stays Dams, William Christensen, Kaz Boshaus, Mario Sidler, Sverre Ubben, Frederik Zebis Christensen, Luca Thiel, Vincent van Kerkhoffen, Joris Schoens and Bram Ossevarda. Oh, right, that was a bit of a A skew with front Nassau panel there. Didn't really. I think that was definitely a JJ Racing kart, possibly. So 21st to 30th, Lawrence Herboz, Marius Rose, Adam Valster, Luke Neeson, Zombor Kovac, Sam Bergstein, Jasper Lenitz, Stein Scholten, Scott Westhovens, and Sebastian Bach, with Artem Sestarkovs rounding out the 31 that finished. Robbie Stolder, we lost on the last lap. Tobias Clausen, lap 13. Jamie Perrelli, lap 11. Leon Zelenko on lap 3. And on Austin, and then Austin Lee, unfortunately, out before the conclusion of the very first lap.